Hey guys, what's up? Summer11 here. Welcome to Dragon Ball Super Sucks. The Sucks series has been successful on the channel, so I'm kind of continuing it. The first 4 videos are on Teen Titans Go and the Powerpuff Girls 2016. The Sucks series talks about problems that fans have about series, and I actually agree with them somewhat on this one, for Dragon Ball Super. And to be honest, this video is more about my complaints than the fans this time around. This video talks about the show's story arcs, so obviously if you're not caught up, don't watch it because there will be spoilers. And if you have suggestions for the next video, please comment below. And I also like to mention that I kind of insult people for some opinions, so try not to get triggered. Anyways, let's do this. Dragon Ball Super, for me, started off badly due to them rehashing movies. Oddly enough, I was looking at videos and articles to find topics for this video, and you want to know one common thing that I noticed? They all were from the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. I won't blame the studios completely for this one. There are idiots out there who thought the series was just going to redo the movies and then just end. But what would be the point of that? I understand that you're in the dark and everything, but remaking the movies does nothing for the show or the movies themselves. You're getting nothing out of that. So why would Dragon Ball Super just be a remake of 2 movies and then that's it? That makes no sense, and I can't really wrap my head around that. I don't understand why people had that mindset. And I was really excited when I heard that Dragon Ball was coming back. Let's be honest here. It's one of the best manga and animes of all time. It's still getting video games and merchandise and all that different stuff to this day. And with Super going on, it'll have even more merchandise. And it's like a freaking Nintendo 3DS, people. It prints money. The first episode of Dragon Ball Super was a little bit boring. And I know I'm kind of going all over the place with this Sucks video, but the way the show was written isn't right compared to Dragon Ball Z. But I'll talk about that later. Let me kind of go back to the first point, the rehashes. Dragon Ball Super takes the movies Battle of Gods and Resurrection F and remakes them in the anime for the first 27 episodes. And I originally thought this was a good idea as they could add more to the movies. The problem is that the movies are good and you can't really add that much to them. I thought there was going to be more added, but really there's not. So these rehashes kind of feel like filler or extra content for the sake of extra content. And I'm not sure how they expanded these movies out for as long as they did, but nothing really was added. I guess they made some scenes longer, but not that much was added. And I think it would have been better for the studios to just show the 2 movies cut up for 6 weeks and then move on to new content. The movies are a requirement before watching the new content or watching Dragon Ball Super as a whole, so I can see why it was added in anime form because it's canon now. But that doesn't mean that the way that they showed it was done well, because it wasn't. And there were some subtle changes like the locations of different fights or different events, but overall not that much was changed. And the other things that changed in these movie arcs or whatever, they just weren't that good. Piccolo dies in Dragon Ball Super for some reason, and his death didn't even matter. They literally skipped over wishing him back to life. That's how much it mattered. That's how much the Dragon Balls matter at this point. That's how much death matters in this series. It doesn't, because they just wished him back to life. It wasn't a big deal. They skipped over that scene. Like, I can't get over that. Gohan has become more of a joke character due to him not training, but a lot of fans wish for the character to return, and I'm sure Akira Toriyama is hearing about this, so hopefully Gohan returns. And I like Gohan and all, but I'm still waiting for the Kai version of the Buu Saga. I've seen a little bit of the Buu Saga as a kid, but I don't remember seeing everything, and I'm not sure if I did. And the fights between Goku and Beerus were extended. The fights were extended, and the second one was definitely extended longer than it needed to be. It just felt like they kept adding things to that fight, a lot of unnecessary things. If you've seen Super, I mean, some people enjoyed the fights, but again, it wasn't really animated that well, and there were a lot of other issues. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy the fight as much. Moving on to the next complaint, it's a bad mix of comedy and action. Seriously, Goku seems like he's mentally Can I say that word? No, no, that's considered bad. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend anyone. I'm sorry. Just forget about it. Okay, so Goku seems like he's mentally challenged at certain points, and it's worse than usual and not funny. Again, this goes back to the writing point. It's like Toriyama doesn't know how to write his own characters anymore. There's an episode that is literally Oolong and Beerus in a game of rock, paper, scissors. And I thought this was an addition to the anime, but this was from the movie. But they spent a whole episode on it in the show. And I never saw the uncut version of the movie, so maybe I missed more. Apparently this was in the uncut version. I don't know if they have extra scenes in the movies. I didn't know that, but I might have to look into that. So Goku kind of feels overly stupid, and then the Vegeta comedy scenes kind of come off as weird. And it's like the movies are Toriyama, as if he's writing the manga, and the anime is just doing things wrong, but he's writing those too somewhat. And I believe it was stated that he writes a script and then it's expanded on for the anime, and then they change a few things around or add more bits in and stuff like that. So whose fault is it? The writers or Toriyama himself? Because just some things in Super aren't that good. So is it Toriyama with the original idea, or is it the writers that are expanding on his original idea? I don't know. Some of the episodes feel like filler, and there's this whole debate of is this filler or not because Toriyama is involved with the anime. And seriously, the second episode involves Vegeta going on a family trip. It wasn't a bad episode, it's just that it doesn't belong there in a way. All these points are related, so this kind of leads into the next point. The show doesn't feel the same as Dragon Ball Z. Should it? Yes, most definitely. Dragon Ball Z never wasted episodes or had the characters doing things unrelated to the plot. It had long story arcs, and I understand the movie arcs being short, but the story arcs are also short. In fact, the Universe 6 saga is shorter than the Battle of Gods saga. There was a joking fight between Beerus and Goku a few episodes ago. And at the moment of this recording, there's a saga about some evil water or something. And it seems like filler, but who knows? It could be important. Everything seems to come back to the writing. It doesn't feel like Dragon Ball Z. Why is that? Is Toriyama being rushed? Or is the studio has to add filler episodes in there, here and there with the fillers, or no? And I'd actually like to know more about the production of this anime. What's the problem? The new content isn't realizing its potential. He has 12 universes. He can do a lot. Seriously, I thought there was too much content in Dragon Ball Super. I made a video saying that the show wouldn't be able to cover all of this material, but based on the way that the show is going, it could cover all the universes, and it will later on. With the tournament with all the universes coming up, that's covering it in a way, not a way. Let me clarify. I'd like to see the tournament, but I'd also like to see them going to these other universes and what makes them so different and why these universes were even created. Dragon Ball Z spends 30 plus episodes on Cell, probably 50 plus if you include the androids, and he needs to do more with his arcs in Dragon Ball Super. These should be long arcs. I feel like a lot of people would enjoy him expanding on these arcs, there being more of a central villain, and I think I get into that later, so just kind of hold on to that. Again, leading into the next point, Goku and Vegeta are the only ones who can do something at this point. Beerus and Whis are kind of friend characters, but also people that they have to train with, or they have to train to be stronger than. So they don't really have anyone to help them if they get in trouble, but they're not that weak either. There's a few things to talk about with this point. The other characters feel useless. Even after Krillin, Tien, Yamcha could have been considered useless, they were still helping out in some way in Dragon Ball Z. They were still present. Now they don't matter and they're just audience members. It's annoying. It's like if you're useless in the show, you just have to watch the characters fight. Now it's just Goku and Vegeta. Why can't the rest still be trained or at least help out? I'm suggesting adding in Trunks, Goten. I suggested adding in Trunks, Goten, and Gohan in the video. It's basically become a Saiyan show at this point, and that's not a problem as long as it's not just Goku and Vegeta. Mix it up. Maybe make some human characters strong too. Maybe put some human characters on the level of Goku and Vegeta. There's nothing wrong with that. The sense of danger is gone from this show. When I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I thought, wow, this character could actually die. He's in danger. Now I just think, oh no, he's hurt. He'll be fine. And at this point, we haven't really had a villain, and that's what I'm looking for in Dragon Ball Super. The tournament was great, but there was no danger. We need a villain that threatens the Earth or the universe as a whole, and have him kill one of the gods or something. That would show how strong this character is. I mean, it already seems like all the gods aren't going to be that important, so you might as well kill one off to just show how strong this character is, and maybe Goku and Vegeta can become stronger than this god. I think the show is going to have to go past the ending of Dragon Ball Z and do that soon. Goten and Trunks need to grow up. Pan needs to grow up. It's time. This should have been after the ending of Dragon Ball Z anyway. I heard that Toriyama only made this before the ending of Dragon Ball Z because Chi-Chi and Bulma were old by then, and some other characters were also old, but I think he specified Chi-Chi and Bulma. I'm almost done, folks. 2 more points. Some think that Super is worse than Dragon Ball GT, and I'm not one of those people that hates Dragon Ball GT. I've watched GT, I did a review over GT, and it's not as bad as people think, but it captures Dragon Ball writing better than Dragon Ball Super does, and that's a bold statement that I'm willing to stick by. I also felt like the show made Goku into a kid to mix Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, and also to make him weaker. Overall, it could have felt more, or, what is this? This was not written properly. Overall, it could have felt more. Okay. Overall, Dragon Ball GT could have felt more serious, but it still has more of a Dragon Ball vibe to it. Super is better than GT, but it doesn't feel like Z or Dragon Ball. And the reason Super is better than GT is, it's easily explained. Better fights, less filler or lack of filler, the creators involved, more interesting content, etc. I saved this final point for last because, well, it was a big complaint in the beginning, and one of the stupid reasons why people dropped Dragon Ball Super. The animation. I think we all noticed problems with the animation in the fight of Beerus versus Goku on King Kai's planet. Goku looks like the freaking Crimson Chin from the Fairly Odd Parents, and there are many instances in the show where the animation is less detailed. Heck, there was a whole episode where there were just thick black lines everywhere. Never explained, just like the characters had. Thick black lines. The animation is downright terrible at times in Dragon Ball Super. It has gotten better, but not completely. Even some fights in the tournament had bad animation. Someone from the studio tried defending the bad animation, saying that these are newbies animating it, but I don't get it. I agree with the point that I saw in it. Why would you have newbies handling a series as timeless and well-known as Dragon Ball? Clearly, you handled the movies well, so why would you handle the two differently? Dragon Ball always brings people in, and it was a stupid reason, and even Toriyama himself has complained about the animation, so you know something is wrong there. The animation was improved for the DVDs, but it still looks bad, and I don't understand that. If you still have veteran animators there, or you even have your good animators there, why aren't they animating it? And why did the animation need to be improved on the DVDs if the newbies are doing so well? This guy from the studio just made a lot of stupid comments. I sometimes see comments calling the show terrible or saying that it sucks, but it really doesn't. I hate people like that. Even with all the things I've said in this video, I can say that this show doesn't suck and it's actually quite good. Of course, the things that I kind of complained about, there are things about it that can be fixed, but if I'm watching something weekly, religiously, it's doing a lot right. But what do you think? Does Dragon Ball Super suck, and why? Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Sermo11. See you next time, and peace out. I guess we'll see what Dragon Ball Super has to offer in the future. Goku-san, Krillin, Vegeta, Piccolo-san, Bulma,